Hi, my name is Erica von Kleist, and I'm going to discuss breathing as it pertains to playing flute. In another video, I spoke pretty in depth about breathing correctly, where your air has to go. But here's a quick exercise that anyone can do to practice breathing correctly. You want your air to come all the way in and go all the way down here. You don't want your air to go here. You want it to go down here. This is a great exercise to do with a balloon. Use a new balloon, a brand new balloon, something that hasn't been stretched out too much. What you want to do, take a nice deep breath from here, and one breath at a time, blow the balloon up, like this. If you're breathing correctly, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel this getting a workout down here. Now let's go a step further. Imagine that this is you. You are a balloon. And you just breathed a whole bunch of air. And I'm sure after you do that, this is kind of what you feel like. Like a balloon. Well, this balloon is in a very uncomfortable state. It doesn't want to be in this state. It wants to be in its normal, original, deflated state. Just like you. If you're blown up like a balloon, you don't go walking around like this all the time because it's uncomfortable. So you want your body to be naturally relaxed. Now, when your air comes out, you don't necessarily push your air out like this when you release your air. You let your air fall naturally. And why does that happen? That happens because your body, the shape of your body, and the materials that are used to create your body want to go back to their original state. Everything relaxes, drops, contracts, and the air falls out. Just like with a balloon. You have this balloon, it's made of this latex material. It wants to go back to its original state. You don't have someone pushing the air out. It pushes itself out naturally. Now, playing the flute is a lot like being a blown up balloon. When you're playing the flute, the only tension that you really want is between your embouchure, or your mouth position on flute, and the use of your diaphragm or abdominal muscles, like this. If you breathe in correctly, I'm not pushing any air out. I'm not using my abs yet. I'm just letting my shoulders and my whole upper body just relax. The only tension is in my flute embouchure, which is nice and tight, almost like a smile. And that's how my air is coming out, just like this. That's your embouchure right here, and this is your body wanting to go back to its original state. Okay? Now if I were to just let all my air out, just like I did earlier, this is what it would be like. That's basically what your body does when you don't have a nice tight embouchure. This is where the tension is. So if we apply that to flute, it's going to be just like this. You're going to take a nice deep breath from down here. Nice tight embouchure. You just let the air fall out naturally. You don't have to work very hard at all to get a good sound on flute. Just let this be your only tension. Let's try that again. Nice deep breath. That's all there is to it. Now, a tight embouchure, nice and tight, you want not too much air coming out here, is very, very important when getting a nice, pinpointed, clear sound on flute. If my mouth were too wide, this is what would happen. Just like with the balloon. All the air would come out at once. And that's not the kind of sound that you necessarily want on flute. You want it nice and pinpointed. Now I'm just letting my air fall out naturally, which is a good first step. The next step is syncing that up with your diaphragm and your abdominal muscles to help control some of the airflow. And you do that through vibrato. If you practice vibrato, this is where your vibrato comes from. It doesn't come from here, it doesn't come from here, it comes from down here. Check it out. Nice deep breath. I'm controlling the release of the air using my abdominal muscles and my diaphragm down here. Not using my chest, not using my mouth, but I'm using it down here. But the tension is mainly here. Everything else is nice and relaxed. When you're practicing getting your air going, practicing with all of this control down here, it's okay if you crack a note, it's okay if you squeak. The idea is to get a nice big sound and get your air functioning correctly.